If you have already watched this introductory information, you can skip ahead no more than 10 minutes. Hello, welcome. I am predicting that on December 24th, 2024, Vice President Kamala Harris will die in a plane crash in St. Louis due to a bird strike into Busch Stadium. In the area code 314, it will be a burning bush, as described in Exodus 3:14. And Harris's death on December 24th will be exactly 3,140 days after her birth, and this hints at 314. She will be replaced by Michelle Obama, and then Barack Obama will replace Michelle. It is predicted that President Trump will die from a heart attack on December 26th, 2024. It is also predicted that Trump's heart attack will be triggered by a directed energy weapon that will target Trump through Bluetooth technology. The components inside the pointy thing that Trump took will facilitate this. And it is believed that when Trump visited Biden at the White House, Trump's Bluetooth MAC address was obtained, which will be used to target Trump with a directed energy weapon. It is predicted that on December 25th, Joe Biden will suffer a stroke. I am predicting that dirty bombs will explode in Manhattan, New York City, and there will be a large-scale evacuation on December 28th. Martial law will be declared in the U.S. I am predicting that Israel will bomb Iran on December 29th, 2024. After Kamala Harris's predicted plane crash on December 24th and Joe Biden's predicted stroke on December 25th, it is predicted that Joe Biden will replace Kamala Harris with Michelle Obama as the vice president. Joe Biden will then step down. Per the 20th Amendment, Congress will vote to make Michelle Obama the temporary president. It is predicted that Joe Biden will then step down and Michelle Obama will become the 47th president, and then she will appoint Barack Obama as the 51st vice president. It is then predicted that she will step down on January 12th and Barack Obama will become the 48th president. I am predicting that former President Jimmy Carter will die on January 28th. It is predicted that on April 20th, 2025, there will be an outbreak of monkeypox or Marburg disease or both. April 20th will be a symbolic beginning to a new pandemic. Alternatively, it could also be that the symbolic beginning to the new pandemic will be on April 1st, 2025, and that on April 20th, 2025, martial law will be declared because of the new outbreak. It is predicted that on June 9th, the day after the rapture, the key will open the bottomless pit and fallen angels will cross over into the earthly realm. June 9th will be a symbolic beginning to the fifth trumpet judgment that is described in Revelation chapter 9, when the demonic realm collides with the earthly realm. June 9th will be a symbolic beginning to demons pretending to be aliens. The demons pretending to be aliens will claim to be here to help us with our nuclear weapons after Damascus, Syria is destroyed with a nuclear weapon the day before June 9th. And it is possible that June 9th will be the day Pope Francis will announce that aliens have arrived and have made him the ambassador for the world. This will immediately give Pope Francis, the Antichrist, supreme power over governments of the world. At some point, there will be a massive Mary apparition that will deceive the masses, because all Mary apparitions in history have been demons pretending to be Mary. June 9th will be a symbolic beginning to a zombie pandemic and the masses becoming demonically possessed that will be facilitated through the thing, which is the mark of the Antichrist, and 5G frequencies. June 9th will be a symbolic beginning to the coming genocide politicide in America. I am predicting that singer-songwriter Paul Simon will die on August 1st, 2025. It is predicted that on August 6th, 2025, the historic barge that has been stuck on the rocks of the Niagara River for over 100 years will finally break free and crash over Niagara Falls. The reason for this is that Niagara Falls is Noah's flood symbolism, and the barge was involved in the most dramatic rescue in the history of Niagara Falls, symbolic of Noah's Ark. Niagara in the native language means straight, narrow way, and Niagara's Horseshoe Falls is perfectly aimed at the CN Tower in downtown Toronto, because Toronto and its tower are symbolic of the Tower of Babel. In a game of horseshoes, the object is to aim the horseshoe and throw it at the metal stick, which is why the Horseshoe Falls is perfectly aimed at the metal stick that is the CN Tower. God is communicating that as testament for those who will live in the 1,000 years of Christ's reign on earth, the geography of North America will, as a result of a massive earthquake, be divided by a body of water from the Great Lakes to the Mississippi Delta. This destruction will be judgment on America and Canada for attempting to divide God's land, Israel. When this happens, the water in the Great Lakes will spill out over southern Ontario and Toronto. I am predicting that a solar flare will erupt on the surface of the sun and send a coronal mass ejection that will hit Earth on August 13th, 2025, which will knock out America's power grid and will lead to food shortages. The hit of the coronal mass ejection, predicted for August 13th, that will knock out the power grid will also knock many planes out of the sky. I am predicting that on August 23rd, 2025, there will be a catastrophic asteroid hit of Earth, which will trigger the eruption of Yellowstone volcano and will cause the volcano in the Canary Islands to collapse into the Atlantic Ocean and send a mega tsunami towards the east coast. The asteroid will also trigger a mega landslide on Hawaii Island that will trigger a mega tsunami that will hit the west coast. It will also trigger the collapse of the Hoover Dam, which will cause a water panic in California, and many other devastating earthquakes. The day of the Lord, the second coming of Lord Jesus Christ, Judgment Day, will be at the end of 2026. The date that this video is posted proves that these predictions are being made ahead of time, as do these time-stamped emails and forensic notes PDF documents. If you are skeptical for some reason, please email me and I will forward these to you. Believe me, I know far better than you how the prediction made in this video was derived. And more importantly, I know far better than you why the righteous Christian God of the Bible has given me a voice through this prediction. If you are a quote-unquote Christian or Muslim, this prediction was not learned through a demon. Be warned that blaspheming the Holy Spirit is the unforgivable sin. If you are a New Ager or New Spirituality person, this prediction was not learned through somehow tapping into the supposed universal collective consciousness. If you are a conspiracy theorist, this prediction was not learned through figuring out a supposed code that the Illuminati and Satanists are using. This prediction was learned through the Bible and through watching carefully the Lord's prophetic signs, which Jesus commanded all Christians to do. Besides proving that Jesus Christ is the Lord, the reason why God has given me a voice through this prediction is to prove that the controversial things that I am saying in the videos on this channel are the truth. Therefore, a wise person will want to watch all of the videos on this channel. What I will also do is create a video or two that summarizes some of the controversial things that the Lord will prove to be true when the prediction being made in this video comes to pass. I will leave links to these must-watch videos in the description box below this video. Again, the purpose of this prediction, that is from God, is to prove these things that I will talk about. And therefore, it would be foolish to not watch the videos that I will leave links for in the description box below this video. Make a note right now of these alternative platforms that you can find me on, in case you can't find me later. The Apostle Paul used the phrase, the last trump. Trump was born on the day of a prophetic blood moon lunar eclipse. And again, Trump was also born on the day in synagogues when the portion of the Torah read that week for the year was the section passage regarding God commanding the making of the trumpet in the book of Numbers. So anyway, Trump was born on the day of a prophetic blood moon lunar eclipse, and Paul, the apostle, used the phrase, the last trump. Trump is a type for Joshua in the Bible and the symbolic 3 sets of 7. Now, what I'm going to do is just play a couple of minute clip explaining this symbolism of Trump being a type for Joshua and this 3 sets of 7. I'll be right back. If you've already watched this clip, it's just a couple of minutes. You can either skip a couple of minutes or just go through it. President Trump is God's trumpet that he uses to highlight and confirm his signs. The word trump in archaic English means trumpet or the sounding of a trumpet. Donald Trump was born on a Sabbath day, and the portion of Torah that was read in synagogues on the day that Trump was born was the passage from the book of Numbers, in which God commanded the making of trumpets. Trump was born exactly 23 months, which happens to be exactly 700 days, before Israel was reborn. And God used Trump in prophetic signs regarding the restoration of Israel. Donald Trump chose his running mate, Mike Pence, and their two names, Trump-Pence, hints at trumpets. Trump's presidency, including his election campaign, was synonymous with his border wall of security. Before the walls of security collapsed in God's judgment on ancient Jericho, the Hebrews blew trumpets. Before the walls of security collapsed in God's judgment on the ancient city of Jericho, the Hebrews marched around Jericho's walls of security 7 times over 7 days, while 7 priests blew 7 trumpets. This was a 3 sets of 7. In the book of Revelation, which describes God's judgment in the end times period, there are also 3 sets of 7 judgments. When the Hebrews blew the trumpets at Jericho, it was an announcement from God of judgment on the city of Jericho. Likewise, President Trump's presidency was an announcement of judgment on the nation of America, God's Gentile nation and the only other nation in history besides Israel that was founded on a relationship with God. This is why President Trump's election campaign and presidency were synonymous with his border wall of security, and why on the first day of his presidency, on Inauguration Day, President Trump was exactly 70 years, 7 months, and 7 days old, which was 3 sets of 7, and paralleled the 3 sets of 7 in the book of Joshua. Through the symbolic very beginning of Trump's presidency, God announced judgment on the nation. Joshua, the leader of the Hebrews, led them around the walls of security 7 times over 7 days, while 7 priests blew 7 trumpets. on the day that President Trump was elected by 77 electoral votes, the leader of Israel, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, had been in power for exactly 7 years, 7 months, and 7 days. Okay, so back to what I was saying here. Trump's predicted death on December 16th, 2024 will be exactly 263 weeks after what the media touted as being the last full moon of the decade on December 12th, 2019. Okay, so Trump is associated with moons and prophetic moon signs. Paul used the phrase the last Trump, and here we have the last full moon of the decade. Okay, so prior to this date, because it was known that the media was calling it the last full moon of the decade prior to December 12th, all right? Anyway, this date is exactly 263 weeks before the date is predicted that Trump will die. And again, the Israelites blew the trumpets before the walls of security collapsed for one long last trumpet blast. And then the walls of security collapsed, which is also part of this last Trump theme here, the last full moon of the decade. The last Trump's death, in other words, will be a massive sign that will be a last Trump before the walls of security of America collapse in God's judgment and destruction, okay? The destruction of the nation. Now, this 263 weeks is relevant extremely because it is the 56th prime number, and 56 is equal to 7 plus 7 times 7. This is 3 sets of 7, but more precisely, the 3 sets of 7 in the book of Joshua were a 7 plus a 7 times 7 because they were led around the walls of security once per day for 7 days, and then on the 7th day, they marched around 7 times while 7 priests blew 7 trumpets. Okay, it was a 7 plus a 7 times 7. December 12th, 2019 was also December 12th, 2019 was also the day of the fulfillment of the Seinfeld prophecy from an iconic episode titled Heart Attack, which was a cryptic basketball score. Jerry Seinfeld and George Costanza and Kramer, they go to visit a witch doctor, and Seinfeld had a dream, and he wanted it analyzed by he had written a note down about his dream, and the witch doctor looked at it and simply gave him back the note and said a basketball score, okay, and which was Cleveland 117, San Antonio 109. Interestingly, by the way, Cleveland had a 22-game winning streak in their 117th season, and that's another story. But anyway, the game, there was a basketball game on December 12th, 2019 that fulfilled this basketball cryptic prophecy from the episode. In other words, the score was Cleveland 117, San Antonio 109. And it was a basketball prophecy because the Antichrist is the basketball president. And the game was played in San Antonio, where the walls of security were breached in the Battle of the Alamo. Because again, Trump is symbolism for walls of security collapsing in God's judgment. So Trump will die from a heart attack exactly 263 weeks, which is 3 sets of 7 here, after these signs here, including the game in San Antonio, which is symbolic of the Battle of Alamo, which is about how the walls of security that they were behind in the fort were breached by the Mexican army. And that's also, of course, 3 sets of 7 symbolism, because it's the collapse of or the breaching of the walls of security. This 263 weeks is also exactly 60 months and 14 days. And Trump was born on the date 6/14, June 14th, on the day of a prophetic blood moon, which is what this all ties to. Oh, by the way, in the episode titled Heart Attack, George Costanza has a blue face and is thought to have a heart attack, be having a heart attack, and he's taken to the hospital in an ambulance and et cetera. Okay, so that was after he visited the witch doctor who gave him a concoction which caused the disease. Oh, you know what? You know what? That's actually symbolism for the mark of the Antichrist that is giving people disease and HEART attacks. Oh, wow. Yes. Yes. Because of the concoction from the witch doctor. Because that's what it is, right? It's witch doctor stuff. People who are promoting this thing and giving it to people, and the sycophants who take the thing, who have believed the propaganda to not listen to any other information, so they shut themselves off from the truth about what's going on. And it's a self-enforcing thing. It's anyway, it's the witch doctor phenomena. It's the mass hypnosis. In fact, there's the famous psychologist who calls it the mass formation. Who calls it the mass FAORMATION. It's a mass hypnosis, and that's witch doctor theme in itself. Wow. It's so obvious, right? It's staring me right in the face. It's the witch doctor who gets the concoction to George, who gets the blue face and is thought to be suffering an HERT. But that's all symbolism for the mark of the Antichrist, the medical product. And which is what's causing people to have the HERT, attacks. Which is how Trump will die. He'll die because of having taken the thing that he was responsible for, in a way, and symbolically anyway. And yeah. Oh, wow. Okay, so back to what we're saying here. This Battle of the Alamo game, the heart attack fulfillment prophecy fulfilled, and the last full moon of the decade, which, by the way, was 6,666 days after 9/11, which was the day that Trump trumpeted into Channel 9 News regarding his tower on Wall Street. Anyway, that's also important because actually, no kidding, because the mark of the Antichrist is associated with the number 666 in Bible prophecy. So that's further confirmation that this heart attack episode is about the concoction that George Costanza gets. Oh, wow. Anyway, the point of the prediction is to prove what I am saying. That's why it's a wow. You can be like rolling your eyes if you want right now. But when the prediction comes to pass, make no mistake. This is the purpose of this prediction that is from God. It is to prove everything that I have just said. Believe me, I know far better than you the reason and purpose for this prediction that is from God. And it is to prove the things that I have said. Case closed. End of debate. No more discussion. The thing is the mark of the Antichrist, first of all. And it is causing the... Okay, you get the idea, okay? That's the purpose of this prediction. Make no mistake. To miss that isn't to miss entirely the point of the prediction. Turn off the video now. This video isn't for you. If you don't get it, that's the purpose of this prediction. I know more than you the purpose of the prediction. It isn't to say, oh, cool, God did this or whatever. It isn't to amuse you or to, I don't know what would be the benefit of just giving the prediction. Besides, I could think of some things like proving that God exists, but there's far more to it than that. There's the reason for these specific things that God is using to make the prediction happen. And I'm the one that understands it. I know more than you the reason for the prediction. Right? I'm the one that's figuring it out, right? I know what the purpose of this prediction is. It is to prove the things that God is using to make the prediction. It's pretty simple, actually. But when the prediction comes to pass, it will prove that God's true big picture of signs, patterns, and connections, which is only being explained on this channel, is true. And the big picture of signs, patterns, and connections overwhelmingly proves or confirms these things. Like I'm saying. Okay, I think I made the point. Now, the reason for why Trump was born on the date 6/14 and 60 months and 14 days, his death will be, and the reason why his death will be 60 months and 14 days after this Seinfeld prophecy being fulfilled near the Battle of the Alamo in the Walls of Security, is because 614 is the 188th semi-prime number, a number only divisible by two other prime numbers. And that's because God is using the number 188 frequently in his signs to point to H188 in Strong's Concordance, the word that means woe exclamation mark, used in the context in the Bible of extreme judgment from God. Trump's predicted death will be the last trumpet blast sign and will be a major woe exclamation mark for the nation. One thing to add here is that the show Seinfeld is about New York City, specifically Manhattan. And Trump is from New York City and is known for his real estate in Manhattan. And so it makes all the sense in the world that God would use this show Seinfeld for a prophecy regarding the death of Donald Trump. This is merely scratching the surface of the reasons for how this prediction is known in advance. For more information, please visit Odyssey, spelled ODYSEE.com, or Rumble.com video channels named Harris Crash Prediction. And also visit the website TrumpPrediction.com. Believe me, I know far better than you how the prediction made in this video was derived. And more importantly, I know far better than you why the righteous Christian God of the Bible has given me a voice through this prediction. If you are a quote-unquote Christian or Muslim, this prediction was not learned through a demon. Be warned that blaspheming the Holy Spirit is the unforgivable sin. If you are a New Ager or New Spirituality person, this prediction was not learned through somehow tapping into the supposed universal collective consciousness. If you are a conspiracy theorist, this prediction was not learned through figuring out a supposed code that the Illuminati and Satanists are using. This prediction was learned through the Bible and through watching carefully the Lord's prophetic signs, which Jesus commanded all Christians to do. Besides proving that Jesus Christ is the Lord, the reason why God has given me a voice through this prediction is to prove that the controversial things that I am saying in the videos on this channel are the truth. Therefore, a wise person will want to watch all of the videos on this channel. What I will also do is create a video or two that summarizes some of the controversial things that the Lord will prove to be true when the prediction being made in this video comes to pass. I will leave links to these must-watch videos in the description box below this video. Again, the purpose of this prediction, that is from God, is to prove these things that I will talk about. And therefore, it would be foolish to not watch the videos that I will leave links for in the description box below this video. Aliens and UFOs are demons masquerading as aliens and UFOs. Most people's spiritual experiences are demonic deception, especially if they are not a true follower of Christ. In the last days, many people who claim to be a follower of Christ will have spiritual experiences that are in reality demonic. God became a man and died a horrible death at the hand of the ruler of this world, Satan, and then defeated death for you, so that you too can overcome death, which is the price that must be paid for sin. It is time to repent, which means to change one's ways and turn to God and become a disciple of Jesus, please leave a like and upvote the video. And once this prediction has come to pass, share this video with everyone you know, and more, don't stop sharing it everywhere in social media. It is essential that everyone immediately read the homepage of my website, TrumpPrediction.com. If you are watching this on the YouTube platform, please note that not all of the videos are on YouTube. You need to switch to the Odyssey.com or Rumble.com channel, and do it now in case you aren't able to later.